Windows always be acting up. That's for sure.
This isn't a Windows thing. This is a this is a Microsoft thing. I mean, this is a Google thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're live with another episode of BS Busters. Sorry, had some shit going on. Um. Anyway, as I said, go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
It's Coach Valmita. Glad to be here on another one of these BS Busters.
Yeah.
Um,
Glad to have you.
yeah, we've been gone for a while.
Yeah, it's been like
We're-
3 weeks since we had a proper cast for the channel. You know, but such is life. You know, we don't always get everything we want. But that's being an adult. You're not going to get everything you want.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's keep it going. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters, and as the gentleman said, we have not had a proper cast in a long time. For those of you watching this live, thank you. For those of you who will watch it in the replay, thank you. Also, rate, comment, share, subscribe. Without going any further, without much ado, let's get into it. We have quite a few topics to discuss. We're going to meander through these because I kind of added these as the weeks went by. We're going to talk about The Outer Worlds 2 having its work cut out for it in terms of writing. GTA 5 is getting a massive San Andreas story expansion. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know, but we'll take a look at the article and see what's going on. I know GTA 5 recently added you can press a button to run instead of having to tap X and get arthritis. So
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. They did that in 4 too. You had to tap the A button to run. It's like, what is this?
yeah, this is painful. Yeah. And we'll discuss Warner Brothers selling NFTs for 1978 Superman movie, priced at $30 and $100. We'll talk about Sony fans being mad about PlayStation PC ports. We'll talk about the 25 years of the top 25 best RPG moments. Now, this is a list. This is not my list. This is a list someone else made. I don't necessarily agree. I might not agree with these. And finally, Nintendo claiming that emulation stifles innovation, which is just total and complete bullshit. I buried the lead on that one. So without much ado, let's get into, before we get started, what you been playing, Kenoshi?
Street Fighter 5 or 6 and Diablo. Mainly Street Fighter 6 though.
Have you been playing the story mode where you go through Metro City and beating the shit out of random people?
I started playing that. I've been mainly playing online.
That's cool. I've been playing, what have I been playing? I've been playing War Tales. Let me look at my Steam library. I've been playing a lot of War Tales. Everspace 2. And I've gotten back into the Ascent. Because I beat the base game and then the 2 expansions came out. And I'm like, or the expansion came out. I'm like, I gotta get back into this.
Yeah.
So I've been getting into that. Really, I've been watching a lot of old TV. I've been binging a lot of old TV. I've recently got back into Sanford and Son.
Yeah, I watched the Mario movie yesterday. I thought it was okay. You're right. It is super safe though.
It is. It is. And Chris Pratt is still a fucking terrible choice to voice Mario. I stand by
I
that.
think it was alright. It didn't bother me.
And, like, I know they were like, we're going to make Princess Peach super capable. It's like, well, if she's super capable, then why the fuck do we need the Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
Shit. You've just negated the whole purpose of your main characters.
Yeah.
But, whatever. But I have to admit, the opening of that movie where they're playing the old cover of the old Super Mario Brothers Super Show theme song is just hilarious. From the Mario Brothers plumbing business is hilarious, and a deep cut.
Yeah.
Only old motherfuckers like myself would have gotten that 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 joke. But anyway, um, yeah, I'm not really. I don't know. I'm kind of like, you know. I thought the Super Mario Brothers movie played it by the numbers, very safe. I think that everyone else was a better voice actor. I mean, I think aside from the voice actors for Peach and Mario, everyone else bought their either their solid A or A minus game, whereas Chris Pratt was putting in a C. It's like, whatever. And Anya Taylor Joy playing the voice of Princess Peach. I'm like, like
Yeah.
the problem with that movie is that they got voice actors who are like famous actors instead of getting good like voice actors, which is like kind of defeats the whole purpose, because a good voice actor can add a level to that character that you don't get from a good actor. Case in point, Kevin Conroy to me will always be the definitive version of Batman because he
Yeah.
was the voice actor of Batman, you know?
Yeah.
And there's no one there's no one who's gone above that, in my opinion. Like Christian Bale's shitty voice acting for Batman was eh.
Yeah.
Like him trying to make his voice sound like this. Don't swear to God, swear to me. I'm like, fuck you. And I was gonna tell you what was going on, but because of that stupid voice, I ain't saying shit. Beat my ass, I don't care. um,
Mm.
and then you got Ben Affleck with the voice modulator. I'm like, this is just stupid. But Kevin Conroy, still the best version of Batman we've had, with Dietrich Bader being a close second. Dietrich Bader being the guy who did Batman's voice in Batman the Brave and the Bold. And he also
Yeah.
did Batman's voice in a series of I think in the Traveler, in a few video games and other TV shows. Um, and I think third, I'm gonna say Kevin, what's his name? The guy who did the voice for Lego Batman. Not the video game, the movie. I think Will Arnett. Will Arnett did Batman's voice, but Will Arnett's version of Batman was kind of like a douchebag. But I mean, Batman's kind of a douchebag. Anyway,
Yeah.
enough about that. Because we'll touch on that later. Let's talk about this GTA news. So we got some GTA news, and the GTA news is, functionally speaking, there's apparently going to be a single player expansion added to GTA 5.
Oh, now?
Yeah,
Waited all this time, huh?
apparently. Now, like, this is a rumor, okay? This is a rumor. I don't want
Yeah.
anyone. And it is it's GTA, it's on GTA Online. So
Oh.
I'm already like, I don't really give a fuck. So
Yeah.
don't care. Dropped it. Dropped it. So there you go, folks. There's a GTA expansion, but it's only online, and it's for some shit that if you don't like GTA Online, like me, you don't care anyway. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that online is just making them money, man.
Yeah. I mean, I can't get mad at a company for going after the money, but I'm like, y'all could have taken some of that money and put out some single player content for this game.
Yeah. Yeah. They wanna charge people for those shark cards. They wanna keep charging people.
Yeah.
If they can only charge one more dollar. That's their mindset.
I mean, it is 2K, so. Sorry, Take Two Games, so, which is code for take two more of your dollars. We could have taken one, but we're going to take two. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Yeah, I'm not enthused about that. Next little bit of news. Warner Brothers, continuing to be the greedy fucks that they've been for a long time, are re-releasing Superman 1978. Now, for those of you who may have been hiding on a rock, Superman 1978 is widely considered to be the first superhero movie blockbuster that actually took a comic book character seriously. And you could argue and say that it gave us Christopher Reeves, who, in my opinion, is still like one of the best interpretations of Superman. Yeah, you can come at me, Cavill fans. I said it.
Yeah.
Um. So basically, they're selling NFTs that have prints and artwork from the movie that I guess have some type of uh, like bit of code in the pictures or artwork that makes them they've been minted,
Yeah.
and they're selling them at $30 and $100 a pop. And the only thing I can say to this is some bullshit.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. So, what's stopping people from copying and pasting the code to or copying and pasting the images and giving them out?
That's a good question. That is a very good question, sir. And the answer to that question is I don't know. I mean, I like Superman. Um, 78. I like the 78 and 80 Superman movies. Um, I think that they still haven't made a Superman movie that's better than those two movies. Yes, even Man of Steel from Zack Snyder isn't better than those two movies. Um, yes, the special effects are more sophisticated, but in terms of writing, the characterization of Superman, um, his relationship with his fellow Kryptonians and Lex Luthor and Metropolis and the citizens of Metropolis and Lois Lane, all that shit gets missed with modern interpretations of the character.
Yeah.
I say the closest we've gotten in modern days is Superman and Lois, that new TV show that came out last year, where it's like, okay, the Daily Planet is now defunct because it's modern times, and he and his wife Lois move back to Smallville and back to the farm, and they have to get real jobs and do shit like that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of an interesting take, but you still have Superman doing Superman type shit, which I like.
Yeah.
Um, and the fact that they're sitting here taking something that is such a huge part of many people's childhoods and fandom and Bitcoining it. It's just, it feels cheap. It cheapens it.
Yeah.
But it's Warner Brothers. What do you expect? You have any thoughts on it before we move on to the next title?
No, but I mean, actually, one thought is that, you know, this whole NFT thing is, I bet it's gonna flop because people have more than once voiced their disdain for NFTs.
Yeah. Why do they
It's
keep
kind of
on trying
annoying
to
that you
push
just
it?
don't come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying that you just don't come out with physical memorabilia rather than doing digital NFTs. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Like, why not just come out with, hey, it's the Superman Special Edition. You get Superman 1, Superman 2, Superman 3, Superman 4, Superman Returns, Man of Steel, all 5 Superman movies, plus a steel case book with like movie prints and like little stills and shit like that. That for like $500. People would buy that because it's physical media, and a poster with Christopher Reeve on it.
Yeah.
People would buy that. I would.
Yeah.
But a fucking NFT, I'm like, I don't care. But that's my own personal opinion. Any other thoughts before we move on to the next topic, sir?
No.
No?
No, I don't have any more thoughts.
All right. Next topic. A lot of people are angry about Sony putting their games on PC. I don't know why.
Yeah.
All right. Getting mad at Sony for putting their games on PC is like you as a teacher getting mad that one of your students who's not like getting enough attention in class, the parent of the student gets them a tutor.
Yeah.
Like, why would you get mad about someone wanting to do better? You know?
No, it's because they just want the bragging rights. They don't play games. They play console wars. That's,
Yeah.
they don't play. They play YouTube. They play Facebook. They play Twitter. They play. You know.
I mean, you're
They
right.
don't like to play those games.
I mean, they're getting mad. It's like Ratchet and Clank is coming to PC. Yeah, because guess what? When it was on the PS5 exclusively, I think it maybe sold 3 or 4 million. On a
Yeah.
console, at this point is Sony is saying that it's over 100 million units sold
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
for a first-party game that they probably spent like between 250 to 500 million dollars to make, which means it was profitable but barely profitable for Sony.
Yeah.
So why would they not open that up to another market where they could make more money off of the title?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Why not make more money off of their consoles?
Yeah, like, okay, Marie Callender's is also a restaurant, but guess what? You can also buy their products in your freezer case, so that they
Yeah.
can make more money off of the name, off of the IP.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then people, well, you should only be able to eat this at the restaurant. But what if I live in a state where there's no Marie Callender's? Well, fuck you. You got to come all the way to another state to eat it. It's like, this is a stupid argument.
Yeah.
You know? getting a PC that can kind of sort of play Ratchet and Clank might be easier for some people than getting their hands on a PS5.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
Don't be sitting there getting mad because people don't want to spend that type of money. You know, eh, whatever.
Yeah, it's not like maybe at some point they'll come out day and date. Uh, but for now, I mean, it's just like, well, if you got a PS5, you already got the game. Why are you mad
Well, but
that
that's the
other people
thing.
are playing?
They don't have the game. That's why
That
they're
is a
putting it on
good point.
PC. They didn't put it on,
Yeah,
and they didn't buy it. You
it's
know?
like, yeah, how about you buy your, how about you buy, this is why Nintendo games will never come, will never come to PC because people they have a very high attach rate for their exclusive titles.
Mm-hmm. You want to play Breath of the Wild, you want to play Tears of the Kingdom, you got to buy a Nintendo console to play those games.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a second party exclusive, it might come to PC, like Wonderful 101 did.
Yeah.
Still, the best way to play that game is on the Wii U.
Yeah.
That's the definitive way to play Wonderful 101. All right.
Yeah, it is.
So, what I'm saying is, like, there's some games, like, I'll be honest with you. I think that Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, despite all of the innovations, are inferior games because you don't have that dual screen experience that you had on Splatoon 1 on the Wii U. It's just not as fun to play. To me. But, to each his own. But we aren't talking about Nintendo. We're talking about PlayStation and their fans getting angry that their first party games are also going to PC. First party games that statistically do not sell well on your, like, y'all are mad. This is like PlayStation fans getting mad about their first party games going to PC is like them getting mad at a girl that asked them out and they said no thanks, going with somebody else after they didn't go out with her. It's like, why are you mad? You didn't want to go out with her in the first place. Yeah, but she shouldn't be going with that guy. It's like, man, stop being weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you didn't even want to go without it. You didn't want to go with her out with her anyway. Why are you feeling bad that now?
Yeah, she's going with that guy over there. So
Yeah, I kind of was. I mean, because I was that guy. I know what that's like. I realize, and I even told myself, it's like, you didn't even want to go out with her in the first place. What? Why are you so? Why are you being weird about
why
it?
are you getting butthurt about it? It has nothing to do with you, sir. Yeah, that's the thing that got me. Like, I guess because people get kind of possessive. They're like, well, I'm used to her being around me. It's like, yeah, but you don't have a claim on another human being, and slavery is illegal. It's also immoral. It's also unethical. It's a trifecta of shit that's just not allowable. But I think we've harped on that shit long enough. Let's move on to 25 years of the 25 best RPG moments. Now, before we get started with this list, I don't agree with everything on here. I've not read it yet, but, and I probably have not played all these games, but we'll get just disclaimer. Okay, then. So, first we have 3-9, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Apparently, there's a safe ending, which involves your character picking a safe and then getting like the best ending in the game, which I think is just kind of, doesn't that break the game?
Yeah, I remember that game. I remember people liking that game.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, yeah, you got to play this game. I'm like, I don't really like visual novels, by and large, so it didn't really do shit for me. But hey, man, to each his own. I'm not gonna judge someone because they like visual novels. unless it's one of those H visual novels that are kind of pervy. The other one is Atelier Totori, Getting the True Ending. Um,
So what is this a game? Is this a re-release? What are they re-releasing on?
no, this is Atelier Totori. It
Oh,
yeah, this is a game in that series.
oh,
Um, so it's one of those RPGs where the Atelier series, for those of you who don't know, is a game where they involve alchemy, and you basically own a store called an atelier, which basically is kind of like a chocolatier or a patisserie, except you make shit using alchemy. Um, and apparently, there's like a standard ending and a true ending, and the standard ending is you find out your mother died sealing a powerful monster after becoming an adventurer and an alchemist and all that shit. But if you get the true ending of the game, you find out that there's a glasses wearing lady who saves your mother, so your mom didn't die, and you get to have a really, really happy ending. I like games like
oh,
that.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Breath of Fire 4, The Tale of Fulu. Now, I know a lot of people like Breath of Fire 4. I played and beat Breath of Fire 4. I never liked Breath of Fire 4. I thought that Breath of Fire 4 for me is when the series started going downhill. But
yeah.
anyway, so basically, in Breath of Fire 4, um, anyone who's familiar with the series revolves around a character named Ryu who is either of the Dragon Clan or a descendant of the Dragon Clan, who eventually goes on some journey to face some world-ending threat, and blah 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 blah. RPG mechanics ensue. Well, Breath of Fire 4 switches it up because, essentially speaking, um, in this game, Ryu is your character, your blue-haired Ryu antagonist is actually half of a dragon god. The other half is Fulu, who essentially is initially in the beginning of the game is the secondary protagonist, but then he eventually becomes the villain, and you have to wind up fighting yourself.
Yeah.
So I heard that the story is really good. I never was that into Breath of Fire 4. I played it, I beat it, and I was like, I don't really like this game that much. The dragons look like shit. And
Yeah.
instead of you having a huge open world to explore, it's just a series. It's like you're on a board just moving a cursor around, which I never liked that. And then when you get to an area, you travel around that area. But I never liked that in RPGs. It felt cheap to me. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, Evergrace. It's PS2 RPG.
Evergrace. I've never played that game. What's that like?
It's a it's a From Software RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Um, but it's one of those really difficult, weird ass From Software games. Next, Hades. It's
That game's
Hades.
pretty good.
Yeah, reuniting
Yeah.
Orpheus and Eurydice. Um,
Wait, are you talking about Hades? The
yeah, The Hades game made by the people who did Bastion and all that other and
Oh yeah, yeah, that
Transistor.
game was pretty good. Yeah, that game was good.
I mean, I wouldn't call that an RPG, but
I wouldn't call it an RPG
it's
either.
more like an action roguelike, but whatever.
Yeah, that term is the problem with RPGs. It's lost its meaning, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Kingdom Hearts 3. It's not an RPG. Reuniting the Wayfinder Twilight trios.
Wait, what game is what system is that on?
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh, is that a yeah?
Yeah, I just said Kingdom Hearts 3 is not an RPG though.
Oh yeah, yeah. What would you say? What game did you say after that?
No, I didn't say anything after that. I said that Kingdom Hearts 3 is the next game after Hades, and I'm just like Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't an RPG. It's an action game, but whatever. Anyway, the Twilight Trio is Roxas, Axel, and Zion.
Yeah. Yeah. That for that's like 4 hours. The first 4 hours, it's just a tutorial run, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, that part was so hard to get through.
Yeah, I mean, Square Enix does not know how to do tutorials anymore. Now, during the Hironobu Sakaguchi days, they would do a tutorial, and it's like, this is gameplay. This is gameplay. I'm not learning how to play this game. And now it's like they're like, you're too stupid to know how to play this game, or we don't trust you to know how to play it. So this is one big fucking tutorial, and you're like shit's gated off, so you can't explore.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Legend of Dragoon, Levitz. I mean, I guess he's a character who dies in that game. Full disclosure, I never really beat Legend of Dragoon because I never owned the game. I had a friend who had a PS1, and I would play it, and I'm like, this game looks like shit.
Yeah.
like let me explain how shitty looking Legend of Dragoon looks. Final Fantasy VII, which isn't a very good game, looks amazing compared to Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon looks like hot buttered ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the Sega Saturn game?
What, Legend of Dragoon? No, it was a PlayStation 1 exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a PlayStation 1 exclusive because Sony basically paid for the studio who made it. They subsidized that game to get made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Legend of Dragoon is terrible. And I never really, I mean, I know a lot of people who like it. I know a lot of people are mad. A lot of people were mad when they made that that remake. I mean, the re-release of Legend of Dragoon that was fundamentally broken.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just not working at all. Anyway, Legend of Mana. Okay, that's an RPG. Not a great one, but it's an RPG.
I think it's all right, but yeah, it's a little. That game does not do a very good job of telling you where to go next.
Mm-mm.
It's like I get that you don't want games to hold your hand, but it doesn't really do a good job at structuring the world in such a way in which you can follow various plot points and whatnot.
Now, if you want to play Legend of Mana, in order to get, because in Legend of Mana, you're essentially rebuilding the world as you clear areas and do missions and stuff. But if you put down the tiles to rebuild the world, in the improper order, you'll get yourself into a shittier ending. It doesn't tell you that. So in order to really play that game, you have to have a walkthrough next to you or
Yeah.
FAQ while you're playing it.
I hate that.
I mean, here's the thing.
Like, if you're gonna make a game, good, you gotta make it beatable.
No, you can beat it. You just don't get the best ending. Here's what I'll say. I'm not against games having deeper mechanics that you can't. Like, I'm not against games that aren't pick up and play. But they should tell you that they aren't pick up and play. They're like, oh, you're going to have to put some time in to get good at this. But once you're good, you're going to really enjoy it. There were entire categories of games like that back in the day. Like, once you got good at them, like when you first started playing them, you get your ass kicked. But then after you got good at it and you understood how stuff was supposed to roll, you're like, oh man, I got this. This is great. Anyway, but that's my own personal opinion. Next game, Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Lost in a Dream.
Yeah.
Dude, Red Fox, do you like Tears of the Kingdom, or did you not play it? Are you not gonna get it?
I played it and beat it.
Oh, how was it? Was it better than the first Breath of the Wild?
It was better than Breath of the Wild. Like, if Breath of the Wild felt like a demo, this feels like the full game. The problem is that I wasn't impressed with the demo of the full game. And the full game didn't fix the issues that I had with the demo. It still has that the more shrines you complete, the more you upgrade your character, the tougher the enemies get. So if you upgrade your character to a certain point, you'll run across normal enemies that are stronger than the bosses in the game.
Whoa.
Yeah, you'll run across Lionels that are tougher than the final boss, which is just embarrassing and shitty. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is the future of Legend of Zelda, folks. 3D Legend of Zeldas are going to be like this.
We need to go back to the traditional one.
I would prefer it, but I'm not in control of this ship. I'm not the captain of this ship. They can do whatever they want to.
It sold 12 million within 3 days. I think
We're stuck with this. The only thing I can hope.
Probably outsold Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess combined at this point.
Yeah. The only thing I can hope for is that maybe, when the next 2D Legend of Zelda game they do, it'll be more traditional. Like they'll split the brand, so the 2D ones will be more traditional. Dungeon to dungeon to dungeon. You gradually becoming more powerful versus this shit where it's just an open world with, you can do whatever you want and there's no structure or order involved with it. But that's just me. Anyway, Mass Effect 3. It's people who romance Garrus Vakarian. I never liked Garrus Vakarian because I don't really like his the Turians, but whatever. Anyway, next game, Monster Rancher 2.
Oh, I've heard that game.
Yeah, I remember playing Monster Rancher back in the day. The cool thing about Monster Rancher is that you would basically get a monster, raise it up, use it in fights, train it up to increase its skills and abilities, but eventually your monster would die. Yeah, it was a tough. They removed that in later games.
Oh, I had a friend that played Monster Rancher, and she said it was like Pokemon.
Monster Rancher is far deeper than Pokemon could ever dream of being. If Pokemon is Mega Blocks, Monster Rancher is Erector sets.
Oh, wow.
You're building shit with both of them, but you can do way more with an Erector set than you could ever do with Mega Blocks.
Oh.
Mother 3, Delivering Happy Boxes. I played the fan translation of Mother 3. I enjoyed it. And you know, it's a pretty good game. Next game, announce our top 25 years of RPG moments. Paper Mario exploding Mount Lava Lava on a stranger's save file. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was always kind of an exciting thing to rent an RPG and then like get someone's save file that's like way farther than you ever gotten that shit, and you're like, oh god damn. This game is way deeper than I ever experienced. However, that was hard because when I was a kid, you could only rent video games for like a weekend. If you were lucky and you had if you had a 2-week spring break vacation, your parents might splurge for the week. Maybe splurge for the week, but most of the time it was just the weekend. But you know, Persona 4. It's Persona 4. I mean, Persona 4 is maybe one of the best RPGs ever. And I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The only thing better than playing Persona 4 straight up on the PS2 is playing Persona 4 Golden on PC with mods that add all the shit that they took out for the Golden from the PS2 and better graphics and shit like that. All I'm going to say is this. Persona 4 is amazing. I personally, just for me, I put it above Persona 5.
Yeah.
I know some people are going to get mad when they hear that. How could you say that? You son of a bitch. It's just how I feel. Next, Phantasy Star Online. Fighting the dragon for the first time. Now, for those of you who don't know, Phantasy Star Online was a game that came out on the Dreamcast and then PC, and then it was ported over to the PS2 and the GameCube. And I think it even came to the original Xbox, OG Xbox. But I played this game on the GameCube. And I love this game. It's the reason why today I don't play Monster Hunter, because the same stuff that you get, the same gameplay loop you get in Monster Hunter, I was doing before Monster Hunter was a thing on Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2 and 3. All right. So, point being, to this day, I cannot play games like that because, you know, I have a life and a job, and, you know, I can't be just in my house just grinding for better equipment all the goddamn time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next we have Shadow Hearts. For those of you who don't know, Shadow Hearts is a game that basically had a unique battle system where you had this ring. You had to use button time press on the ring in order to do the most damage or to complete like either perfectly or mostly perfectly. And if you did it perfectly, you do more damage. It'd be like a guaranteed critical hit. If you did it almost perfectly, it'd be like normal damage. And if you messed up, you just lose.
Yeah.
But anyway, the ending of that game, the canonical ending of that game, is the main character sacrifices his gives in to the dark energy within him in order to defeat the final boss, and his girlfriend saves him, but she swaps places with him with the evil presence within him, and she dies in his arms. I wasn't aware of that because I've never beaten Shadow Hearts. Thanks for ruining the ending of me for me for a 25-year-old game article.
Isn't that doesn't that game have like a really weird combat system?
Yeah, I explained that earlier. I said it's got the judgment ring where you have to use button presses at the right time in order to do max damage. Um,
Okay.
yeah, there's like 3 games in the Shadow Hearts series. I always liked it. Um, Stoned or Expel, Star. Okay, the next game is Star Ocean. I never liked Star Ocean. Eh,
Yeah, I don't know which one I got for the PS2 because I thought it looked interesting.
that was probably till
Um,
the end of time because that's the one that came out on
yeah, the voice acting in that game is just awful.
the
I couldn't.
story is trash. The gameplay
Yeah,
is trash, and there is a fucking like towards the end of that game there's a difficulty spike that just it's like it comes from out of left field. And it's like, oh my god, like are you serious? Like the bosses start hitting harder, they start blocking everything. It's like this is some bullshit right here.
yeah, that game was not good. At least the one I played for the PS2. Oh,
I mean, if you play it on PC, it's better.
yeah, yeah. I think yeah, it's like that's what a few games. It's like, is there a Japanese option? I'll pick that instead, but there
I'll read
wasn't.
it. You're like, I'll read it. I'll
I'll
just
read
read it and
it.
listen to the yeah.
Voice acting is ass. Hot buttered ass, as you like to say.
I mean, it's kind of like Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. What was the name of that one? Final Fantasy 10 with Titus. Ha 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 ha! It's like, oh god, no. Someone wrote this. Someone was sat down and read the script and said, "Yeah, this sounds good. Keep it up. This sounds good." Yeah. Yeah, for me, that's the thing where I'm just like, I can't. I just can't. This doesn't do anything for me, and no. Um. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, the Darth Revan twist. Everyone knows about the Darth Revan twist by now, so I'm not going to go into it. Um. But yeah, I don't like the original KOTOR. I think it is basic bitch Star Wars material from BioWare. And BioWare made a basic bitch RPG in 5-6 years, whereas Obsidian only had a year and they crafted a much better story. So, with that being said, it's Knights of the Old Republic. Suikoden 2. 108 Stars of Destiny Dual Outcome.
I never finished the end of that game. So what is that exactly? What part of the game is that?
What? So it's the end. The end of the game, if you get
Yeah.
all 108 stars, and the final battle, if you defend the entire time, you don't have to kill your best friend, and you get a better ending. So, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because I
that's
know that the game has an interesting premise where it's like you're the goal is to try to keep your friendship intact or get your friendship back.
yeah, functionally speaking. I mean, the Suikoden series has always been very interesting because, like, unlike a lot of RPGs where I'm gonna save the world, like every single Suikoden game, it's like You're just a person or a prince or an exile or like a minor noble in a kingdom that's like a small part of a much bigger world. You know,
Yeah.
like these are life or death struggles for you, but there's other shit going on around you. You know? And I always liked that.
Yeah.
I always liked that Suikoden acknowledged that this is a small part of a much bigger world. With that
Yeah.
being said, I played the first Suikoden. I played the second Suikoden. I tried to get into the third one, but they changed the art style where I was like, I don't really enjoy this. I'm looking forward to the Suikoden successor that's coming out sometime next year,
Yeah.
made by the people who made Suikoden. Because, you know. Anyway, Tales of Eternia. It's a Tales game. So this person basically was living in Minnesota or someplace. Where the fuck? Oh, Iowa. And the furnace went out, so they were cold, and they one-shot at that game. They just played through
Oh,
it with the power out, with the furnace out.
that's crazy.
I haven't done that. I've played through an RPG. Like I had a 2 week Christmas vacation. Like Christmas hit, and then we had another 2 weeks after that. And I got forget what RPG was it. It was Secret of Mana, and I plowed through that shit in a week and a half. I mean, there's no alternate ending because the end of Secret of Mana is kind of shit because your dragon goes insane because it's a mana beast and attacks you. You have to kill it after you kill the emperor. It's kind of fucking fucked up. But anyway, love it. Thousand Arms. Thousand Arms is the next game, and it's one of those romance RPG simulators because like not only do you have to level up all that shit, but you also have to it's also a dating sim. So
Yeah.
there you go. And I'm not going to continue with this because they've got well, I can because we got some more. To the Moon. To the Moon's that game where you play these two scientists who help someone die, fulfill their
Dying wish.
their dying wish. And I don't like games like that because I like games are a form of escapism for me, and I'm not trying to be sad while I'm playing video games.
Also, Eternal Sonata, where you were playing through a dead man's dream.
Yeah, but you're playing as Mozart, I think. And it's so JRPG that I can't take it seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I don't really. Whereas and the writing's not too good in that game either. So I'm not like, oh my god, this is. And plus, it's really fucking short. Like you can get through it in like 20 hours. That's like two.
Wow.
That's like a day if you're really determined.
Yeah.
Next, we have Undertale, Killing Toriel, or how you get called out for reloading your save.
Yeah.
And the next thing is Xenoblade Chronicles X, Wandering in Wonder. Now, I've experienced this myself. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I will say, is my favorite Xenoblade game. I think it's better than 2 and 3. I think the only downside of that game is that they capped your level cap at 60, considering that some of the enemies you face in the game are way too goddamn powerful later on in the game.
How'd you get more power? Oh, is it because you need the mech?
No.
The
only way to increase your stats at that point is through crafting and building better equipment. Like 60 is the hard cap limit for how high you can go, which is fine and dandy if you're used to playing RPGs that are stat based. See, I'm used to playing RPGs where it's level based. So, like, if I'm going to go into a dungeon and they say the base level of that dungeon is like 12 to 15, I'm going to go in there when I'm level 20 and kick everything's ass. Because I grinded. I grinded to get up to level 20. Xenoblade Chronicles X is a different beast. Like, you have that whole you know, you have that hard cap limit. So in the game, I'm like level 60, and I'm basically like, I'm thinking I can kick everything's ass, and then you reach that point where like some of the megafauna is like one-shotting you or knocking the arm off of your ship. Like it's like fucking hell, man. I personally think the Xenoblade Chronicles X is the best Xenoblade game that Monolith Soft has made. I think it's better than 2 and it's better than 3. I stand by those statements.
Yeah.
I think 2 is too goddamn easy. I think that Rex is annoying as fuck, and Mithra isn't great either. Or Pyra. I think that whole Pyra Mithra thing is kind of stupid, to be honest with you. I think that 3 is better than 2, but like it's better than 2 in like a marginal type of way. You know what I mean? It's not like they went out of their way to be that much better than 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Have you played and beaten 3?
I've played it. I haven't beaten it yet, but I've played it, and I just like let me put it this way. I lost interest in that game after about 30 hours. It's really hard. Like, I got to get back into it. But what I played of it, I'm like, yeah, this is better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but that's a really low bar to me. You know, it's a low bar. Like, the main character isn't as annoying as Rex. Okay, cool. Rex was annoying. He's not Rex annoying, but you know, it's still like a lot of the issues that I had in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 still exist in this game. Like in 3, like you still can't change your outfit. Something they had in the first game and in Chronicles, in X. Like, I mean, like, does the Switch not have the RAM for it? Can it not control hold that much data on screen at one time?
Yeah.
I don't get that. I don't understand how I can't equip different outfits and have them change. Like, you could do this shit on the Wii.
Yeah.
I mean, and the Wii U.
I think it was just probably a design choice.
Oh, whatever. I don't really care. I just kind of let it go, but just kind of little ass backwards on that one. Anyway, Yakuza 3 losing a friend at Okinawa.
Yakuza even an RPG? Would you consider it one?
Yeah. I mean, you level up, you become more powerful. Yakuza 3, you do have party members.
No, Like a Dragon's an RPG.
Yeah, it's a traditional turn-based RPG, but even the old ones, like you gained experience, you became more powerful by doing shit. You unlocked new skills and abilities through leveling up. I mean, that's RPG mechanics 101 right there. You could equip shit that basically changed your stats, something you cannot do in Pokemon. Even though they say you can, but Pokemon is a liar.
Yeah.
Pokemon lies all the time. I think we've that's the end of the list. I think we've or do you have any favorite RPG moment of the last few years that you're like, I gotta talk about this? People should know about this.
It's an interesting side quest where in Bravely Default, where you have to try to save this girl from either dying or killing from herself, but it's interesting because you don't end up dying, you don't end up saving her. It's like, that's interesting. One of the few interesting side quests in that game where it's like,
which one, Bravely Default or Bravely the second, or
Bravely Default, the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess another moment is in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 where I just like how they introduced all the game mechanics through story rather than bombard you with a bunch of text.
Or stop the game and make you go through a forced tutorial.
Yeah, it's like, here's this new ability, and they just seamlessly introduce the ability.
There's a story ability. There's a story reason why the ability is there.
Yeah, it's like, I kind of wish more games did stuff like that.
Yeah,
It just make the world feel a lot more seamless.
yeah, they tend to be better about that with a lot of games sometimes. But yeah, I agree with that. Um, anyway, that's the end of this segment. Um, Kirby, anything you want to add before we move on to the next topic? Sir? All right, I guess you have nothing you want to say.
Oh wait! I want to add. I guess one of my favorite RPG moments was when Shulk said um when Shulk said to Metalface, "I'll kill you," but then in the end he didn't want to kill Metalface.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, considering that both Shulk and Metalface were being played by the acolytes of Zanza, so you know,
Yeah.
it was all part of the plan to destroy both Bionis and Mechonis in order to basically remake the world one last time. So hopefully this time they wouldn't fuck it up again. But they're like, but what about the people who live on both of these continents? Ah, fuck them. We'll start from scratch. It's like, that's a terrible idea. Next, we have Nintendo's claim that emulation stifles innovation. Our last main story. I'm gonna bury the lead here and just say bullshit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nintendo just wants to sell their shit back to you, just like all these other companies want to sell your childhood back to
Hopefully
you.
that means they're making a GameCube Online thing.
I would rather have a GameCube Mini than a GameCube Online, because if they had a GameCube Online, I guarantee this is if there was a GameCube Online, I guarantee this is what it would be. You would open it up and everything would start out with I guarantee it would start out. GameCube Online would start out with like 8 games, and 4 of them would be Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion,
Super Smash Bros. Melee.
maybe Melee. You might get Melee, but they'd probably add that later. Okay, they'd probably add that later. You'd have Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, F-Zero, maybe F-Zero.
Zero.
Yeah, F-Zero
Where?
GX, and the 4th game would be some shit that no one cares about. Like it would be like Kirby Air Ride or something. Now, here's the thing: I like Kirby Air Ride, but I am a fringe gamer. Okay, Joe Blow average consumer doesn't give a shit about Kirby's Air Ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyways, I need to try Kirby Air Ride again.
Yeah. So the first 4 would be that, and then the next 4 would be some more games that no one gives a shit about. It'd be like Hydro Thunder, Gauntlet Legends, Dark Legacy.
Soul Calibur Legends.
No, that was on the Wii. Let's see, it'd be some. If it was Soul Calibur 2, people would flock to it because people like Soul Calibur 2. Let's see, what else would it be? It would be some GameCube games. Gimmick Gear. That'd be the 7th game. The 8th game would be some shit like Cubivore. You know, some shit like only the most hardcore GameCube people would give a fuck about these games. Because Nintendo doesn't really with all the money they've been making off of the Switch, they don't have any incentives to actually put any effort into getting good games for a GameCube Online.
Okay. Well, at least they released Metroid Prime.
Yeah, one game. They released one game out of a trilogy. And I'm going to let you on a little secret. The first Metroid Prime isn't even the best game in that series.
Yeah, it's probably 30.
It's very backtracky, um, and it has a very kind of like. There's so much. They give you so many pickups that you have to pick up in order to utilize your entire arsenal. It gets kind of tedious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think. I think. I think Metroid Prime 2, Echoes, and 3, Corruption are better than the first game.
Oh.
Yeah. Like in terms of like streamlining, like in a good way, the gameplay mechanics, I think Echoes is better um than 1. And I think in terms of just a fun gameplay experience, I think Corruption's the best one of them all. I think the first Metroid Prime is kind of. I mean, if you love Super Metroid, the first Metroid Prime is 3D Super Metroid. That's all it really is. But the problem is that the same shit that you kind of tolerate with a 2D Metroid game doesn't work as well in a 3D space. Like all that collection, like I gotta collect my super missiles, my mega missiles, my giga missiles, my normal bombs, my super bombs. Plus, I gotta get ammo for each of my different types of guns. It's like this is ridiculous. this is this is ridiculous. Um.
Anyways.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I don't really think that that would be. To me, that would not be the best way to really do stuff like that. But do you agree? Disagree?
Oh, I could see it coming a mile away. Nintendo doing that.
What, them going after emulation?
For emulate, cause
I mean, yeah, because it's Nintendo. That's what they want to do. Nintendo wants to control how you play your games to the point where they are willing to lie in court to get what they want.
oh
And yes, they're saying, well, if you do this, it promotes, if you do this, you're promoting piracy. But here's the thing: in order for you to use the Dolphin emulator legitimately, in order to rip a game, you have to put your game in your system. You have to physically own the game, which means you bought it, either first hand or second hand.
yeah. Well, I don't like that
Yeah.
people use the computer.
So you didn't steal it; like you bought it. And that's for like old. That's like for GameCube games that they don't even sell anymore. For the emulation for the Switch, you have to buy the game before you can, in order for you to rip it.
Yeah,
Well, I really can't wait to see what happens with the next Nintendo Direct. I can't wait.
like I said, they want to just sell. But they haven't made a way to play GameCube games.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if Nintendo came out and said we're coming out with a GameCube Mini and it's got like 40 games on it, plus wait, there's more. It has a Wi-Fi thing on it where you can get access to a online console, online storefront where you can buy more games. I'd be down with that. I'd say good. I mean, your storefront kind of sucks, and I'm probably if they had it, I'd probably jailbreak it so I could put my own damn GameCube games on it. But you know, no, the people. I did the same thing. I have 2 SNES classics. There's one that's pristine and one that I jailbroke to put more games on. Cause some of the games they have on the SNES classics are trash.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's all the mini consoles. Like, if you own a PlayStation mini console, you had to hack it because the games even if you the games they had on it, most of the games they had on it were the PAL version, which means they ran too goddamn slow. And the emulator they had on the system was a shitty emulator, so the games ran like trash anyway.
That was the worst one.
Yeah, PlayStation broke the mini console boom with their bullshit because they didn't want to put money into their mini console.
Yep.
Because it's Sony. And we do whatever we want. Damn the consequences. But don't you tell me what to do. Or some bullshit like that. I don't know. Here's all I'm gonna say. I personally, I disagree that the notion that emulation equals piracy, because or it stifles innovation, because a lot of the shit that people like about these a lot of the a lot of the gameplay enhancements that people like about these games came out of emulation. Like, hey, people like save states. That's an emulation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
The ability to rewind your game or slow down or change the like you get the Castlevania collection where you can change from Japanese to English. All that shit came from emulation. You couldn't do that with the physical copies of these games.
Yeah.
So that's just a disingenuous argument. The reason Nintendo's doing this is because they know that the people who make these emulators don't have money to fight this shit in court. That's all it is. It's them using their corporate reach to just fuck with people, so that they can sell you their shoddily. Which I stand by this. The Nintendo Online Library is trash. It is a inferior version of what we got on the.
I wouldn't say it's trash, but
Let me. Okay, question. Okay, okay. It might not be trash. Is it better than the online library? I mean, than Nintendo Online, where you can just buy the games and play them whenever you want to do?
no, it's. I mean, in some ways it is. Like I like how I can just pay stuff for like a month, a year, but at the same time, it is kind of scummy.
I mean, yeah, but you're paying to rent games, most of which you like. I guarantee if there's like if there's like 20 games on the online library, maybe you'll probably be interested in 5 of them. So you paid $20 or $30 or $50 for only to play a library that you only are going to play like maybe 20% of. That's not. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't feel comfortable with that.
Okay.
Like they had this announcement. They're like, "Hey guys, we came out with a poker game, poker family game night." I'm like, no one gives a shit about poker family game night. Like, why are you having an announcement to tell people that you're bringing poker family game night for the SNES to the online game to the online library? That's stupid. Where are the really good games that people want to play on the like where's Super Turrican 2? Where's Super R-Type? Well, they probably have Super R-Type. Where's Super R-Type 3 with the lightnings? Where's like any of the 4 versions of Super Street Fighter 2? Final Fight 1, Final Fight 2, Final Fight 3, Sonic Blastman 2. Where's Batman Returns for the that's a side-scrolling beat 'em up? Where's fucking where's Chrono Trigger? Where's Final Fantasy 6?
Yeah, I'm curious. Where's Chrono Trigger? I want to play it.
Where are these games? Like, you're bringing out shit that no one cares about. At least I don't. I don't. I mean, here's the thing. I'm saying this as someone who has the original physical copies of these games. I have the SNES mini version. I have a lot of these games on the Wii Virtual Console. So I'm not, if these games never come to the library, I still will be able to play them.
I see.
Yeah.
But yes, for me, I find it to be kind of underwhelming. I'm underwhelmed. There you go. Anyway, anything you guys want to bring up? This is the free topic portion before we wrap things up.
Oh yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to add about that Apple headset.
All
And
right, go ahead.
that is you know, I was watching something today, and he brought up a pretty good point. It's not that the technology isn't there for VR, or that technology isn't good enough, or whatever. A lot of it's the way the VR headset looks and the cost of the VR headset. It's just like, you know, people who think that this is going to be like the second coming of the iPhone, you might want to rethink. You might want to rethink that.
Didn't I already say that though? I was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna really do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I find the Meta app good virtual reality.
Eh. Yeah, but you invested in that. Someone invested in that for you, because don't you have the Oculus too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why.
yeah. Which the Oculus 2, which the Facebook founder basically like fired like 80% of the people working on that, like games for that, and said, "Yeah, this is not our future." Um, look, here's all I'm gonna say. Facebook couldn't get VR off the ground. Valve couldn't get VR off the ground. Sony can't get VR off the ground. All these companies who are way more creative than Apple could not get VR off the ground. And Apple's like, wait a second, hold my beer. Let me take a stab at it.
Yeah, we'll be the ones to do it.
We'll crack the code on this one.
We'll charge 2 to 3 times the price of our competition.
Yeah, they're like see, that's where you guys messed up. You're charging too little money. You got to charge an arm and a leg, and maybe a left nut too.
You charge an arm, a leg, a kidney. You know,
and they have to sign away their firstborn child, and then maybe the VR will just succeed. I promise you that. Tim Cook up there. No, go ahead, Kenochi. I'm sorry.
We will bring about, you know, this is you know, because some people are like, you know, this could be the second iPhone, because you know when the iPhone came out, you know, it was fairly revolutionary.
There was nothing like it.
There wasn't anything like it at the time.
Its only competitors were shit like the Nokia. The closest you had to what Apple had was the BlackBerry, and even the BlackBerry was not like the, you know, they weren't the same thing. They only had some functionality they shared between the two of them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
But here's the thing about Apple's headset. There is stuff like it. Is the technology better? Does it seem more seamless and whatnot? When you put the headset on, the mixed reality stuff. Yeah. By what I hear it is a lot better than it works pretty well. But again, you know, it's that price that's gonna that's gonna hurt them.
All I'm gonna say is this: it is very, very expensive, and I'm not interested. Not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Well, isn't VR kind of off the ground with Meta?
No. No, it is not.
Look at how they're selling. Aren't they selling well?
No. No. No, it's not. You have to remember, Mark Zucker, the CEO of Meta, aka Facebook, laid off 80% of the people working on their Oculus. 80%. That means cutting something to the bone. That means we weren't making money on this, and we're just going to keep a skeleton crew just to support it. And if other third parties want to get involved, they can do some shit, but we ain't going out of our way for this.
Damn.
Sony refuses to release the numbers for their VR, which tells me it ain't good. Because if they were good, Sony would be like, we sold this many VR units. And the fact that they ain't saying shit tells me, they didn't sell anything. They sold nothing. Or at least not enough for them to be crowing about it. VR, people don't want to strap... most gamers do not want to strap shit to their face in order to play their games. They just don't. You know?
Nope.
People are okay holding a small device in front of their face or looking at a screen with a controller in their hands. But when you start strapping shit to your face, then they're like, that's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, I personally don't feel strongly either way. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But for a Joe Blow average consumer, they don't want to do all that. And I can understand, okay? Because, you know, it's like 3D televisions, right? Like, remember, like 10, 15, like 20 years ago? No, 15 years ago, the big thing was, well, the future of gaming is 3D TVs. It's 3D TVs and 3D TVs. And, man, I have a 3D TV, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even fucking use the 3D on ever.
You know, and you know what and it's not like these other headsets. Maybe the Sony's one is questionable. Who knows how much money they're actually made off of their headsets?
Probably very little.
Probably very little. But they what was I gonna the thing about at least the Vive and the Oculus stuff, that aside from the Oculus Quest, which was not the Oculus Quest, but the higher tier, the Oculus, the Meta Quest, or whatever they're calling it, their higher tier one, that didn't do very well. But the lower end stuff, I hear, is doing pretty decent. And
It did okay.
the Vive, Vive wasn't. I haven't heard anybody say, Vive's in trouble. Valve needs to give up the ghost in the Vive. So,
yeah, but Valve didn't sell the Vive. Valve sold the Index.
Oh, the Index.
And they sell the Index. The Index is sold to order. So you order an Index, and then they get the kit and they sell it to you. And all the Indexes are $1,000.
Yeah.
So they're selling those at a profit because they're special ordered, and that's a premium price. Once you get 4 digits, that is a premium price. That's not, and they kind of do have. I mean, I hate to. People are gonna get mad when I say this, but of all of the VR headsets, I have to say the Index has the killer app game, which is Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah. That's the thing about that. That's one of the downsides about the Apple's new product. It didn't have any, like obviously games, but they don't really care too much about games. Although they're trying to do stuff with games.
Well, you don't like Apple Arcade?
Not exactly. I don't use it.
Neither do I. I've played games that were on Apple Arcade, and you can tell they were on Apple Arcade because when you play them, when you play a game that was on Apple Arcade, it like those games when they're ported over are like, this is very simplistic gameplay wise.
Yeah.
And you're like, why is this so simplistic? Oh, because it was made to be on a smartphone. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Some games are like that, where like they have basic graphics, and I'm just thinking like,
well,
this is like a phone game.
It's not so much the graphics, it's very overly simplistic. Like, go play the latest Shantae game, the one that spent like a year on Apple Arcade, and it's like, oh, this is simplistic. Or Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. Like, that started life on Apple Arcade, and it's very simplistic. It's very, very simplistic. Anyway, I think we've gone enough about that. Anyone have anything they want to pimp out before you wrap things up?
Yeah.
Oh, there's one.
I want to say I've been playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie game on the Game Boy Advance, and it's pretty good.
All right, that's fair. Kenoshi?
There's one other thing I wanted to bring up, and that is, people's memories are terrible. I think you might have to check the lead in the water because everybody's like shocked that there's not going to be a Nintendo Direct this month. When Nintendo said several months back before we found out the news that E3 was canceled this year, that they weren't going to show up at E3 because they didn't feel like they had anything to show. It's just kind of like, why are you people surprised? Why are you people shocked? Why are people out here being like, oh, Nintendo Direct, maybe 1-2 Switch, that 1-2 Switch sequel, maybe that's a sign that the Direct is coming. Oh, it's like
I have a
they
question.
said
Does
they weren't
anyone give a
doing
shit
anything.
about 1-2 Switch?
Nope.
I don't. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
they're making a single to 1-2 Switch. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I don't. I didn't give a fuck about 1-2 Switch when it came out. I'm like, well, actually, the only thing I remember is that why is this being sold as a full game? Why isn't this a bundle? Like 1-2 Switch feels like something that should have just been included with you buy a Switch, you get 1-2 Switch with it. Anyway,
Well, Nintendo is expensive in that way.
yeah, they're kind of greedy. You see, you're being nice. They're greedy. They're fucking greedy. they're greedy. And I love Nintendo products. I have almost all of their past consoles, including their current console, but they are a greedy ass company, especially now that the new president has taken over. This new guy is a greedy bastard. At least, the choices that he makes are very greedy bastardish. But hey, I could be wrong, I'm just some guy, Anyway, with that being said, anyone have anything they want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
Yeah, Project Console. Tuesday night, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there. Have a good week.
All right. This is Mr. Red Fox, Unproud of BS Busters. I will be having another podcast next week. Same bat time, same bat place. We're going to try and get back to our normal hours of casting. So look forward to that shit. And of course, I will be on Mr. Kenoshi's podcast as well. Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kirby, you got anything you want to pimp out?
Yeah. Retrospective J is going well, and I now have 50 subscribers on there.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, man. Grow your channel. Keep it going. Anyway, that's in the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace. Watch all our channels. If you want to get in touch with the channel, you can reach me at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com or Discord, which is in the description. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's there. That's the end of the cast. Peace. Good night. Play your games. Live your life. And don't let anyone ever tell you what you don't like or do like or any of that shit. Peace.
Peace.